I am so disappointed by this next video. Just by the title of the video, and I saw the thumbnail, and I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
I don't know what's going on right now.
No. All right. I may be getting clickbaited. All right. Leave me alone. I'm baiting. If you know, you know. This is related to Idiocracy because it is trash TV, TLC, drama, reality TV, garbage that we binge like a bunch of fucking idiots, like, you know, we do.
It makes me feel better about myself.
But not only
until
myself,
I get done watching the episode and I'm like, no. I've just been sitting here watching this. I'm going to give you some credit as a human being because you have empathy in your heart for the people, and we'll just be watching a show and I'll just be like, Jesus Christ, that's fucking wrecked. And I look over and Nikki is over here sobbing. Just think, this person I love. And it makes me love you so big. Yeah. Like, my heart just swells up for love for you because you're just such a wonderful person. And you're a very compassionate individual. And I love that about you. But, oh my God, the ridiculousness we have seen. Am I going to cry?
No.
Okay.
You may be pissed off.
Oh, great.
You definitely think that these people are at least fucking halfway decent.
I think that the people we're going to watch is halfway decent.
I just didn't expect this. Okay?
Okay, I'm just confused.
I get it. So close your eyes. We're going to get ready to watch this. Nikki and I have watched a lot of episodes of these individuals. So...
And it's something that we don't know about them.
No.
Okay, are you sure that I don't know? Because you know that I go looking for information that I'm not supposed to know.
I highly doubt that you know.
Okay.
You ready?
I guess.
Okay, here we go.
Yesterday, Tabby went into the hospital.
I don't have my headphones in.
Pneumonia, and she can't breathe. I set up a GoFundMe account. If y'all can donate a penny, nickel, dime, I would be so happy.
When Amy and Tammy Slayton first began their YouTube journey back in 2014, they were seen by their audience as two wholesome sisters who were bravely putting themselves out into the world despite their unconventional appearances. However, only a few short years later, that very same audience had grown to hate and despise them. The Slayton sisters would turn their entire audience against them through controversy after controversy, peaking with one of the most ambitious scandals in YouTube history, a GoFundMe for Tammy Slayton's funeral, who hadn't even died. However, if the audience had simply known more about these two sisters prior to the beginning of their channel, each of these controversies could have been easily predicted. For example, back in 2010, Amy would be arrested after shoplifting an $8 book from Walmart, showing that even prior to beginning YouTube, the sisters were prone to both cutting corners and cheating the system. Most of this information would only become public at a later date, so when they first began their channel, they were liked. The sisters built an audience through their strong family bond, positive attitude, and ability to laugh at their own shortcomings.
We need to lose weight if you come skinny.
We don't care if you don't like us, we're fat and we love it.
They weren't exactly the sharpest tools in the shed, but people appreciated their authenticity.
If I want to say, hey, I'm fat, but don't you call me fat. Why would I want you to call me fat if we're trying to be in a relationship? Come on now, use your brains.
And the fact that they were kind of doing YouTube for themselves. It didn't seem like they were trying to impress anyone. Love when a girl isn't afraid to be herself. I applaud you. Finally, a real person doing a review. Love it. Keep them coming. I love her so much. She always has such a positive, fun, relaxing vibe. The Slayton sisters would receive their first big break after posting a video titled Chubby Bunny Challenge, which would go on to gain a view count in the millions. However, when examining the video's thumbnail and dislike ratio, it was pretty obvious that it had gone viral as a result of people watching to laugh at their physical appearances.
Toby's mine.
I salute this channel for not disabling comments, that takes bravery. I genuinely didn't know it was possible for the human body to lay adipose tissue on the forehead. Anytime I wake up and think I don't really feel like working out today, I just think of this video and it gives me the motivation I need. It was a similar story with videos like Bake With Me and trying new makeup. The thumbnails were sufficiently horrid and laughable to make the videos go viral. However, despite the hate, the hundreds of thousands of views across the videos still brought in others who appreciated the relaxed nature of the channel, growing their fan base further. Oh, you're so cute. Well known on your makeup and ignore all the negative comments. She is so sweet. I would let her put makeup on me any day. All the beauty gurus be like, you gotta do it exactly like this, Kay. And this girl is like, it's your makeup, you choose how to do it. And she did pretty good. I'm gonna sub. However, while a growing fan base would generally be seen as a positive for most YouTube channels, for the Slayton sisters it would end up becoming a negative, as it'd be at around the same time that they begin to reach out to their audience for help in relation to their lack of financial security. For example, after achieving 1,000 subscribers on their channel, the Slayton sisters would set up their first GoFundMe, requesting that their audience help them buy an Apple MacBook with the goal of increasing the quality of their videos. Now, most of their audience felt as though there was nothing wrong with this proposal. The audience sends a bit of money through, the sisters get a new laptop, and in return the audience gets a higher average video quality, which is seemingly a win-win for both parties. However, on the contrary, some of her viewers felt as though the Slayton sisters were abusing their power as YouTubers in comments such as, delete this, you are going to lose all your subscribers. You're a pathetic lowlife that needs to get off your ass and get a damn job like the rest of us instead of mooching off of us. You are disgusting. And if I were you, thank God I am not. I couldn't wake up in the mornings. As a response to the hate, Amy would shift the blame from herself, stating that her friend was the one who suggested that she make the GoFundMe.
I do not take money very lightly. The whole MacBook thing was not my idea. It was a friend of mine's idea. I didn't even edit the video or anything. But that video is down.
However, while Amy did receive a bit of hate, the operation would prove to be successful after raising over $833, showing the Slayton sisters that it was not only possible, but simple, to extract money from their audience through GoFundMe, which would become a vital piece of information for the main scandal to be covered in this video. The other problem that the Slayton sisters encountered after growing an audience was that they could now be held accountable for the stories that they shared throughout their videos. For example, Amy would upload a video talking about a situation in which she had adopted a German Shepherd rescue dog before leaving it in a camper van on a hot summer's day. Now, Amy would state that the air conditioning was on whilst the dog was inside, and that the camper van was, quote, freezing.
The camper has AC in it, and we only put him in there for like 30 minutes. And who are y'all to judge me?
However, when Amy would then reveal that the dog had gone crazy inside and smashed the air conditioning unit just to get out, her audience assumed that maybe the AC wasn't on and that the dog was going crazy because it had been overheating inside. This theory would be supported further after Amy revealed that the dog had bitten her quite severely after escaping from the camper van, leading her audience to believe that the dog was all riled up after overheating. As a result of the incident, Amy would state that the dog had been put in a 14-day quarantine.
The dog is in 14-day quarantine. He has a week to go.
However, with the bite mark being so severe and Amy taking the dog to the pound, whilst using the wording that the dog was no longer with her, the audience assumed that Amy had taken the dog to the pound to have it put down, resulting in the popular opinion that Amy was an animal abuser. I can't imagine this woman owning a German Shepherd. Shepherds need tons of activity both physically and mentally. She couldn't even take care of herself, let alone such a strong and intelligent breed. I'm sorry, but I highly doubt she ran after the German Shepherd. You need to be relatively active to own a dog like a German Shepherd, and you need to be trained to be able to take care of an abused large dog. This sentiment will become even worse when, at a later date, Tammy would upload a video talking about the celebration of her birthday at a gaming arcade, mentioning in passing that she felt sorry for their other dog, Littlebit, who had been left in the hot car whilst they were inside playing games.
I feel bad for Littlebit because she sat outside in the hot car while we were having fun. But I did, while we were at getting something to eat, I did get a little bit some ice water. So I thought about it, at least. Amy said I was going to get her some water.
What a selfish, disgusting bunch of people these three are. Poor, poor little dog. I'm surprised Littlebit is still alive. Dude. These events did a pretty good job of destroying the Slayton sisters' reputation. However, as you might assume, it was only going to get worse from there on out, as Amy would find herself in yet another controversy after going on a date with a 19-year-old autistic kid at a local McDonald's.
Y'all know that I had the worst night ever Friday, and it was a horrible night. It started off good. We met each other. Well, it wasn't the first time we met. Don't think that. I'm not that type of person.
As mentioned, in the beginning the date seemed to have been going well, to the extent that Amy and her date decided to book a hotel so they could go and get frisky together, at which point things would start to head in a negative direction.
And then we went to a hotel room. I finally got up and started loving on him. I was trying to give him a hickey because he was a virgin and he never had a hickey before. So I was giving him a hickey and he was like, quit biting me. And I'm like, I'm not biting you. And he was like, yeah, you are. So I bit him.
After biting her date and assumably scaring him off during the intimate moment, he would take to Facebook, posting a status written in an ancient hillbilly dialect, which will receive a response from Amy about the size of his penis.
Hold on.
Did they just say that?
Go.
Did they just say that?
What, a hillbilly dialect?
Yeah. the way that he posted it was in an ancient hillbilly dialect. That's you want me to read it?
Yes.
If a guy tells a woman he doesn't like something, it means stop. All that. He doesn't just like I told this. I don't like biting, but what does she do? So she continues, like, damn, I said stop. All the stupid psychotic blank. If I don't say I love you back, then I don't love you, especially if you keep saying it over and over and over again. I hate that.
Okay.
In an ancient hillbilly dialect, which will receive a response from Amy about the size of his penis. Following this, Amy would go on to upload her video discussing the night, where she would completely dox the guy in the comment section with his Facebook page and telephone number, after which he would be harassed by Amy's YouTube audience. In somewhat of a hilarious act of karma, Amy would then go on to get into another relationship, which would ultimately end in separation after Amy's YouTube audience decided to get involved.
I hope y'all guys are happy. David just broke up with me because everybody was harassing him. Now y'all see why I don't tell people who I'm dating. Because y'all bully and harassing.
She wanted that.
And then he don't.
And while this would mark the end of Amy and Tammy's reputational-based scandals, it would ironically mark the beginning of what would be many financial controversies, beginning when their audience discovered that the sisters had been receiving government assistance in a video titled Amy's Toxoplasmosis. Amy would explain that as a result of being legally blind, she had been receiving social security payments.
I'm not on disability for my weight. I'm on disability because of my eyesight.
It would then be revealed later that Tammy was also receiving disability payments for her morbid obesity, which would result in backlash from her audience, stating that they were rorting the system by receiving money from both the government and their job as YouTubers. In addition to receiving money from these two sources, they also began to make money from selling merch, before many would claim that this was also a scam. The merch site was suspicious from the very beginning and read as follows. If you purchase Tammy's merch, you'll be added to a private group chat with Tammy. To purchase, head over to the donate section and donate the appropriate amount, $35 for t-shirts, $50 for hoodies, then head to the contact section and email us with the email you used to make the purchase. The reason that the Slayton sisters requested for purchasers to donate the appropriate amount became pretty obvious. They're definitely scamming the tax system and sliding money to Tammy so she can stay on disability from what it seems. I support a good side hustle, but this one is super shady. What the hell kind of sketchy ass website is this? I just donate my money and hope to God I get something in return? No tracking or proof of purchase? Refunds?
Yeah,
no
that's
thank
a little,
you. This feels like a way to
fucked.
Scam the IRS somehow. I didn't sell anything, people donated. It got worse when fans would come to realize that the sisters hadn't been paying the artists who had completed the designs for the merch. A representative for Tammy would take to Instagram stating, all people who make artwork don't ask to get paid, but to simply get a follow or notice by Tammy. Most of the artwork on the website right now was designed by @blank, our website designer, and @blank again. However, apparently this wasn't the arrangement made with the artists. In an article written about the scam by Showbiz Cheat Sheet, it was mentioned that at least one artist has claimed they requested their art not be used without payment, and have since been blocked and have had their artwork misattributed to someone else. This artist would take to Instagram in a post reading, I wasn't being unfair at all, just saying how my artwork is being passed off as someone else's when I spent time doing it, and I've now been blocked yet my design is still up on your website, not really fair at all. All I wanted was credit for it, that's all. As a result of this scandal, Tammy's TikTok with over 1 million followers, on which she had promoted her merch, will be permanently banned. However, this still doesn't make it the most notorious controversy in the Slayton sisters' history, bringing us to the infamous funeral scam. It began when Tammy, who was the heavier of the two sisters, fell over in the bathroom before waking up the following day without the ability to breathe.
I woke up and I couldn't breathe. Like bad. Like I really couldn't breathe.
And after being rushed to hospital, it will be discovered that Tammy had contracted pneumonia.
I went to the hospital and the ambulance. Took x-rays and a couple hours went by and they told me I had pneumonia and I was going to have to stay in the hospital.
Whilst in the hospital, Tammy's condition would worsen, leading her to pass out for 3.5 weeks whilst on life support, during which Amy would begin the GoFundMe. Now, to Amy's credit, it probably was pretty scary having your overweight, unhealthy sister on life support for over 3 weeks. However, to begin planning for the funeral before she had even died was almost comically pessimistic, which would become even funny when Amy stated that the money was to fund Tammy's triple-size extra-large coffin.
With Tammy being so big, if something does happen, her coffin is gonna cost them more because they have to
that's probably true. Yeah.
Whilst mentioning that Tammy was on a medical card, however, the amount of money it provided would not be enough to cover the funeral.
She is on a medical card. The medical cards will not cover all of the bills. So this GoFundMe account will be for Tammy's funeral if she dies. So please please find it in your heart to donate.
The GoFundMe itself, which would raise a total of $818, read, "This fund is for if anything was to happen to her, will go to her funeral. If she makes it through this, the money will stay there or go to her hospital bills that insurance won't pay. I won't ask, but I don't know what else to do. Please, please help us, even if it's cents. Thank you and may God bless you." Now, if Amy had approached the situation from the angle of we're just doing this to cover the hospital bills and left it at that, there probably wouldn't have even been any backlash. However, since she had put so much weight on the possibility of death and people had donated assuming that she was going to die, when she would return to the videos a few weeks later laughing, joking and eating junk food as if nothing had ever happened, obviously the audience and those who had donated weren't all that happy, judging from the 85% dislike ratio on the original We Need Your Help video. It also didn't help that in a different video, Amy would reiterate that the money wasn't going to be spent on anything besides the funeral.
We won't be spending it on anything but the funeral. I just wanted to clarify that. Or I'm going to take it up to the funeral home where it can build interest. I probably will take it to the funeral home and let it build interest. So if something does happen, we have that as a backup plan.
So when it was confirmed that there was no funeral, a new question had been created. Where had the money gone? Amy would state that she had transferred the money to her mother to pay for Tammy's medical bills.
The money that y'all donated for Tammy when she was in the hospital, I gave it to my mother, who paid bills with Tammy's bills. Regardless if that's what she used the money for or not, that's what I did with it. I gave it to my mother, who paid bills.
However, when her audience would ask her to prove it, she'd state that it was her mother's responsibility to provide the receipts.
My mom is trying to find the receipts, but if she can't find them, that's on mom, not me.
Then in another video stating that the receipts had been thrown out completely.
I know I've been wrong. I should not throw receipts away, but in my head I wasn't thinking, well, these receipts might come to bite me in the ass. You know, I wasn't thinking that. It was a simple mistake.
However, if the GoFundMe had been done online, then surely she was using internet banking. Why couldn't she provide a screenshot of the bank transfer to her mother? Medical bill receipts don't seem like something that you just throw away. It was suspicious that she was unable to provide any evidence for the money going towards the hospital stay, especially when her audience would notice that she also happened to buy a new laptop and a new camper right after the GoFundMe had concluded. At a later date, Tammy would go on to state that Amy's GoFundMe made her angry as she felt as though she didn't need help.
And when I found out Amy did the whole GoFundMe thing, believe me, I was mad. Because from one, I knew I wasn't gonna die. And two, I didn't want help. I, not the person, want to ask for help.
The most interesting part about the whole ordeal is that while most disgraced YouTubers simply fade into obscurity as the years go by, the Slayton sisters have managed to remain relevant after rolling their public image into a TLC show titled 1,000 Pound Sisters, on which Amy has since lost over 100 pounds, has gotten married, had a baby, and is looking healthy compared to her early days on YouTube. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Tammy, whose continual weight gain underpins much of the show's entertainment factor. The show just had its third season with well over 1 million viewers per episode.
I have a lot of feelings. When we watched the most recent episodes, most recent season, we had kind of come to the conclusion that Amy was a really good person and that Tammy needed to work on herself a lot because she was going in this downward spiral of blaming a lot of people for a lot of her own issues. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a hard life or anything like that, but
I'm not trying to judge anybody. I just find the show incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, fuck both of them.
Well, I felt like Tammy didn't do...
animal abuse shit is just like, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Across this line, you do not pass leaving animals in vehicles.
Well, when we would watch the show, they would take the dog everywhere. And I'm like, I wish that we could... I literally said, I wish that we could do that with Shorty, but I know that that's not reasonable.
They didn't take them in the buildings and shit they were going into. Fuck them, dude. Look, I do think stupidity has a lot to do with it. These motherfuckers are dumb as hell. All right, I'm not even going to fucking go ahead and
I don't think you're trying to be mean.
I'm not trying to be insulting of them.
Yeah.
I think that it's more insulting to me that somebody like that thinks that they're entitled to like own animals, or you know, she just had a child, which makes me physically ill to think that if you can just leave a dog, a little bitty baby dog.
Yeah, it's like a little chihuahua. Its name is Little Bit.
Is because it's a tiny little baby dog. And You're going to leave it in a hot car and
while
then
you go have fun. It's not like some terrible situation where...
If I knew that my friend's animal was in the car, I would be like, no, look, this can't be happening. What are you guys going to do about this? And she's just like, oh, I tried to do what I could. I felt bad. But it's like, what do you mean you fucking felt bad? And like a German
Shepherd, like to own... Like, I think the dog that she has would be the perfect dog.
German Shepherds are cool. They're big. I can do everything. I know a few people like that. It's just like, dude, it's funny when they're not. If they're just gorging themselves with food and the only person that they're hurting is themselves, that's one thing. But it just really fires me up and irritates me to know. Because, like, there's a difference between this bubbly, goofy, childlike, funny perception of somebody when it's just them being stupid, and if they're harming anybody, it's just them. But when they're like, oh, my animal is shitting all over the house, it's, you know, my animal is locked in a fucking car and it's 80 degrees outside and the wind, you know, then that is evil. Like, it's bad. Right? Now, I'm not trying to 100% just, like, that's them for sure. But the perception I get from the information that I've just been given, oh, man.
Right.
That no longer is funny.
Regardless of, like, their personalities, maybe they are funny, maybe they are goofy, maybe they are a little dumb.
Oh, they're stupid as hell.
But when something like that happens, like it does, all of that's out the window. Like that happened to an animal, a child, another human being, whatever.
Only that happened to them. A dog could be born out in the wilderness and overheat because of the sun, and that's tragic. But it's like nature.
She purposely
that dog can't open the fucking door and get out. She can. You know, let it out. Fuck it. If you don't care about the dog that much, then just let it out of the car.
She wouldn't be in that camper for that long without air conditioning.
The whole, like, I'm not even going to get into their whole situation, but there's a lot of, I can't stand uncomfortable in what they do.
Yeah.
Right? It's comfort. Why do you need this? Comfort. 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 But yet, let's trap a fucking animal in a situation that is extremely uncomfortable and deadly and not their choice.
And I just feel like that's where I draw the line. I feel like they don't even think about it.
It's an object.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an object. Like, I want to have this. Does this want me to have it?
Right. Or what responsibilities go on. She's the same way when she talks about having a baby. She just wants a baby.
Right.
And that's great. I want a baby all the time too. But I don't want a baby.
The responsibility, bringing a child into this world the way that it is. And, you know, people are like, oh, a child into this world the way it is. And people have said that forever. But, I mean, the way that it is and is about to be, I mean, come on. And she doesn't even...
Right.
You know, I mean, we've watched
ignorance is bliss. You know, I don't think that she even thinks about these things. Which will lead into the next point of Tammy's not death. Okay, now if Tammy, that more. Me too. If Tammy was in like critical care and the doctor said she's probably not going to make it, and they didn't have money set up for the funeral because they don't have those kind of funds, totally get it. None of my family, you know, everybody we know that dies, you set up a GoFundMe because people don't have money like that.
I'm a veteran, so I will be straight.
Well, you're going to be setting up a GoFundMe for me. But anyway.
Oh, God, I don't even want to project that. I don't even want to put that energy
2 days
out there.
later. Okay,
God,
no. Babe, serious. But then I get it, you know? Like, she doesn't know what else to do. But then to just be like,
the money.
I don't know what do it. And Tammy's like, I knew I wasn't going to die. Yeah. I was mad that she did that.
God, that
is
didn't help.
So fucked.
Had she come out and been like, man, I was about to die, and that money helped pay all these bills, like...
Something.
Like, we didn't need that. It's like, it seems like to me, and I have noticed this during the show, that they like each other when they're together, but apart, they're like, fuck that bitch. It's like, I love her.
Literally, that's what they say.
I couldn't do anything without her.
I don't know. Sometimes when they're together, it's the same way, though.
I don't know, man. She really buries her, though, a lot. Like,
Tammy.
Oh, damn, I didn't even mean that. I'm a professional wrestler, so sometimes I use wrestling terms, but she really throws her under the bus, like, all the time. Yeah. Like, it's not vice versa, either.
No, they both do.
They don't know. Tammy's the worst.
Tammy is really bad for it.
She's really bad for it.
Tammy's gotten much worse about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here I am laughing at
I know.
I'm pissed about the fact the dog shit. I do not even. I'm not on board with that.
Still with them. They still have that dog.
I know. This dog just must be like half camel and just able to survive. Because you know that ain't the only time.
No, if it happened once.
Oh, I know. Then
just
it's just
to go
how it is.
have food. I mean, it wasn't like it was some crazy dire circumstance where they didn't have any other option or the dog would die or something, you know. They're just going to get food and whatever.
Yes.
What I don't understand, it doesn't make any sense in my mind, is why would you make videos talking about these things
as if the comment section don't exist,
and then just post it like what was it Tammy was saying that was like super fucked up at the beginning, and she just like casually dropped, that's what it was, little bit needed water, and she was like, yeah, well, I went out and got ice water, so I was thinking about it. It's like, why would you even say that?
Yeah,
why would you say, like, one, I would never do that, but two, I would never be like, yeah, my dog was like dying yesterday and I got it some water, so like, I'm really great.
Because that's the standard. When the standard is, I can see over my cheeks today, so I did good yesterday.
Chad.
But I mean, I'm not making fun. I'm just saying, when you get to a point of everything around me is on fire,
I guess.
But we're getting there. It's like,
I guess.
No, everything around you is on fire. Go get that dog out of the car.
A German Shepherd. Now come on.
Go grab the ding dongs and Tootsie Rolls and throw them in the yard and get them away. Like, this is the situation where if nothing is ever an emergency, I'm good. But the moment anything is emergency, look on the show,
dude. Anytime
dramatic happens, it's like everything.
Literally, Tammy had to set up a doctor's appointment, so she made Amy do it. But when Amy called to set up the doctor's appointment, because Tammy told her to,
yes.
And Tammy was like, Amy was like, Tammy, like, when is a good time for you? And she's like, shut the fuck up, I'm making a YouTube video, now is not good for me. And she's like, I'm just doing what you told me to do.
Literally doing a favor for her. Yeah.
And like, got so mad at her.
Because everything's on fire.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like such a ridiculous...
Before all of this, I liked both of them. I mean, Tammy was starting to be like, you're getting to be a little bit much. You got to take some responsibility for your own actions.
I never liked either of them.
Oh, yes, you did. You laughed because they were sweet and funny.
No, I thought that they were very funny, but there was this...
I do recall there was a point where you were like, okay, this is starting to like...
Well, I just started seeing these behaviors that revolved around what I want, not need, supersedes all other shit. Like whenever they had the decorator and cleaner come in, it was like, oh God, I don't want them to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them to see the filth, not the disorganization.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, I don't want to have my baby around this. And it's like, no, you knew it was dirty. It would be different if they were like, look, we just found this. This is bad. This is gross. She knew it was gross.
Yeah, but that's...
And started freaking out. No.
She hired them because she didn't want that anymore. Now,
no, it wasn't about the cleanliness. They were organizers.
They were organizers.
She hired people to come organize her house and then realized, I'm fucking gross. I don't want them to see the gross. And the cameras are there, and it's like, oh, yeah. Because she's not thinking like us. She's thinking like her. And she's like, oh, yeah. Normal people don't have food just laying on the fucking table right there like that.
But she was trying to do better, and she felt shame, and so she did better.
She was trying to reorganize her house, started feeling guilty because she knew her shit was trashed, and didn't even think about it until the people that were going to be moving shit around were coming.
Well, we're not saying that they're perfect.
No, but I do think that there's a whole lot of let me cover my ass as much as possible on that show.
I do think that they both have a very hard time admitting when something is their fault. Like, especially Amy that you saw in this video.
Yeah.
Just redirecting, oh, it was my friend who thought about the GoFundMe, which I don't see anything wrong with asking if people support you, and she wanted to have better quality videos. If people want to give, that's great for her.
Yeah. Or if you put up a goal or just let people know, hey, this is something that we're trying to do something for.
That's how we got these.
Yeah, but I'm not about to like be
Nikki is literally...
I mean, look, dude, if something tragic happened, I would let everybody know. And if they felt so inclined to donate something, that's all well and good.
But you're not preemptively going to be like, hey, I'm going on vacation next week. Nikki has severed her whatever.
Somebody would have to make me believe it before I would ever give up on you.
Yeah.
But to go out, and it's just like, I have been in bands and been in projects and shit, and I've never been able to be like, do a GoFundMe so we can put out a record or do it. You know, I don't see any real problem with it. It just hasn't really been my style. Even when we did the thing to like get money for this computer, we did waxing, like me and Nate
Renegade Media Group.
Like,
Nate did not wax.
No.
I waxed both of y'all.
We had our chests waxed.
I waxed you guys.
But it wasn't, it was like, we want to do something for our audience, for our friends who are helping us out in the situation. Just like the car. We would not have the car if it weren't for the donations that we got.
Nate set up donations for us because Chad's car blew up a couple years ago.
Yeah. Dude, if it was ever anything that was like some tragedy had happened, then miraculously everything was good, I would make sure to give everybody their money back.
Right. Something would be in place. We wouldn't just be like...
Yeah, well, just like the microphones and the Focusrite Scarlett interface that we got these microphone stands, we got some new lights.
We told everyone before, this is our goal, our mic is shit. Everybody knows that our mic is shit, and you're tired. We're tired of reading in the comments, your mic is shit.
Yeah, go watch some older videos.
And we didn't have the ability to buy all of this stuff outright.
We are not rich by any means.
No. And people donated, and we have a badass setup now, thanks to people who wanted to give.
Wait a minute. There's gearheads. We don't have a badass setup. We have
a very good setup in comparison to what we used to.
We have a $300 setup. Is how much we put into this and how much we got for that.
But for us, that's huge.
It's huge, and it makes us able to do this better, which is the overall point of all of it.
So I don't think that was wrong. Pretending like Chad is going to die so I can go...
They weren't pretending. I mean, when we watched the episode where it said she was fucked up in the hospital, I was like, shit, she's dead.
She might have believed it, and I don't feel like that's necessarily wrong. But you can't just spend all of that and then literally Tammy be like, I was fine.
That's where the fuck up was. The fuck up was the whole tracking of the money situation.
Yes.
Well, I know plenty of people that struggle with their weight and everything, and are wonderful people. And there's nothing wrong with having things that you're working on. And there's nothing wrong with just being like, hey, this is how I am and how I'm going to be, and that's fine with me. And, I don't think that it's appropriate to talk shit about their weight or their health or whatever. That's their own personal shit. But when it comes to the treatment of animals thing and the brazen disregard for the seriousness of that situation, as if it was just the dog was in timeout and you felt bad for it or whatever, that makes me kind of hateful, so I get pretty angry about that situation. But I hope that both of them end up in better places at the end of the road, down the road, as they continue
me too,
their day to day, because we all suck to a certain degree. We're all shitty to a certain degree, and we all need to do better.
Yeah.
So
as Shorty
digs a hole in the couch for no apparent reason. For those of you that don't know, we have a half pit bull, half basset hound who is a unique individual.
He's a goober.
He also needs to get better from day to day.
Oh,
please,
my
God. But the Clayton sisters,
yes, I think so,
need to improve on some things, and I hope that they do. And this gave us a little bit more insight into these people that makes I'm probably not going to watch that show anymore.
No.
I can't support the animal stuff because I have heard and seen no real apology.
It would be different if there was some awful accident or whatever. And then she came on and was like, oh my God, this happened, and, yada, yada. But it just felt like,
whatever. It's a dog.
Yeah.
So, nah, I'm kind of done with
we're
that.
very much animal people, and we take good care of our babies and put them in front of us most of the time. So,
yeah. But anyway, interesting video. I hope you guys enjoyed our reaction to it. If you did, you could give us a like. We would greatly appreciate that.
You could even babies.
Launch. You could even subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that.
You can even suggest videos that you want us to react to in the future. You can do that in the comments below or on our Discord. We're going to have a link to that in the description, as well as this original video.
You should go to Sunny V2's YouTube channel and subscribe, because he creates awesome videos like the one that we just watched, and I think you guys might really like it. Some interesting stuff on there. He does great investigative work, great journalistic YouTube channel. I think you guys would enjoy. We live stream every Monday and Thursday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We would love to see you there. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes we do community streams, we do Q&As, we play games, we bake, we eat. You never know what we're going to be doing. We could be out on the town somewhere. We like to have a good time, but we would appreciate seeing you there. Probably enjoy yourself if you did. Thank you for watching this video, and I think that's going to do it for this one.
See you guys.